The Psychology of Money isn't a book about finance. It's a diagnosis. It exposes how your mind quietly works against you and sabotages your wealth. You can master every investing rule, you can read every strategy, but if you don't understand your emotions around money, you'll keep making the same mistakes. Because money isn't just logical, it's deeply psychological. In this video, we'll uncover the hidden mental traps that silently destroy your financial future and the mindset shifts that help you level up and escape them one by one. Before we dive in, if you want to be successful with money but constantly feel overwhelmed by it, you're not alone. That's exactly why I built the Money Mastery System, to help you finally take control of your finances. It's an all-in-one Notion system that gives you the tools to manage money the way wealthy people do. Plan your spending based on what matters to you. Think long-term and stay in control without the stress. If you're ready to upgrade your financial mindset, check it out in the description. Now, let's get into it. Act 1. The False Confidence. You're smart, you've read the books, you've done the work, but something keeps pulling you back. Because intelligence doesn't protect you from bias, it hides it. Your choices feel rational because they're yours, but that's the first trap smart people fall into. Trap 1. You think you're logical. Trap 1. You think you're logical. Why do two people look at the same investment and make opposite choices? One buys, one sells. They're not wrong, they're just playing different games. As Morgan Housel puts it, people do crazy things with money, but no one is really crazy. Everyone has a story that shapes how they see money. A stockbroker who lost everything in the Great Depression might never invest again, while a tech worker who got rich during the 90s boom might chase risks others would avoid. Or someone who graduated during the 2008 crash might fear the stock market for life, while someone who got into crypto in 2017 might believe volatility is normal. Same world, different lenses. You can study the history of the 2008 crash, but you'll never feel the emotional scars of those who lived through it and now panic every time the market dips. That's why two people can make opposite decisions from the same data and both be right. Neither is crazy. Think about that for a second. Your experience with money is just a tiny sliver of what's happened in the world. It's like living inside a bubble shaped by your past. But that bubble still shapes nearly 100% of how you see the world. Meanwhile, outside that bubble, there are financial realities you've never lived through. Trap 2. You think you're in control. Trap 2. You think you're in control. Why do some people succeed with less effort, while others do everything right and still lose? We'd love to think success is earned and failure deserved, but money doesn't work so simply. As Morgan Housel writes, nothing is as good or as bad as it seems, because behind every story of success or failure is a mix of effort, luck, and risk, and we often forget how powerful they really are. Take Bill Gates. He's not just brilliant, he's calculated, disciplined, strategic, exactly the kind of person you'd expect to win. But what most people forget is that in the early 1970s, Gates happened to attend one of the only high schools in America with a computer, at a time when computers were rare, expensive, inaccessible. That tiny accidental advantage gave him years of practice before most people even saw a keyboard. That single detail was a 1 in a million stroke of luck, and it changed everything. Now compare that to his close friend, Kent Evans, equally brilliant, equally obsessed with computers, but Kent died in a mountaineering accident before finishing high school. Another 1 in a million event, but this time it was risk, not luck. Two brilliant minds, two wildly different outcomes, neither fully in their control. That's the point. You can do everything right and still lose. You can mess up and still win. It's uncomfortable, but it's true. That's why humility matters. Don't take all the credit when things go right. Don't take all the blame when they don't. And don't judge others too quickly. You never see the full equation. This also means be careful who you admire or try to copy. The more extreme the success, the more likely it came from circumstances you can't repeat. Because what worked for them might have depended on luck you won't get or risk you can't afford. So don't assume their playbook will work for you. Instead of idolizing individual stories, study patterns. Patterns are honest, repeatable.
And when you apply them, they keep working in your favor, even when luck isn't on your side. And most important, patterns help you build a financial life that can survive bad luck. So when good luck shows up, you're still standing to receive it. Trap 3. You believe the story, not the reality. Someone hears a story of a baker who won $200 million in the lottery. Suddenly, buying a ticket feels like a smart move. Never mind the 1 in 300 million odds. The story feels good, so we believe it. Hey, maybe I'll be next. But that's not logic. You don't picture the millions who lost, you picture yourself on the yacht. The more comforting the story, the easier it is to follow blindly. Because when a story feels good enough, we want it to be true, so we believe it, even if the odds say otherwise. Morgan Housel calls these appealing fictions, narratives that feel good but quietly mislead us. And it's not just the lottery. We fall for the same kind of stories in our investing, spending, and even saving decisions. Take the crypto boom. In late 2021, it felt like everyone was getting rich from crypto. Your neighbor, that guy on TikTok, even your Uber driver had a hot coin tip. Thousands of new tokens launched. Most had no utility, no roadmap, no real purpose, just a name, a price, and a story. Get in early. Don't miss your chance. This is the next Bitcoin. People didn't buy the math. They bought the dream, sold by influencers with flashy lifestyles. Everyone said, this time it's different. But it wasn't. By 2022, the story started collapsing. Coins vanished. Projects disappeared. Billions were gone, quietly, almost overnight. But the warning signs were always there, and it worked because it felt good. So be careful what you believe, especially when the story feels good. Always ask, is this supported by data or just desire? Do I trust it because it's true or because I want it? Because in money, as in life, the most dangerous stories aren't lies. They're comforting half-truths we never think to question. Trap 4. You think you're a spreadsheet. We plan like machines, but we're humans. Spreadsheets don't feel panic during downturns. They don't compare, but you do. You feel stress, you have doubts, and if your plan doesn't leave room for that, it won't survive real life. That's why Morgan Housel says aiming to be mostly reasonable works better than trying to be coldly rational, because reasonable is sustainable, and sustainability is what actually builds wealth over time. Take investing, for example. A reasonable plan helps you stay calm during downturns. It keeps you in the game when everyone else is panicking. Look at the stock market. Historically, it delivers positive returns, 68% likely over 1 year, 88% over 10, 100% over 20. But none of that matters if you abandon the plan halfway. And that's the hard part. You can build the perfect spreadsheet, data-backed, optimized, rational. But if it underperforms for a while, will you really stick with it? Or will you panic, switch strategies, and start over? Because the real threat isn't poor logic, it's emotional temptation. Act 2. The emotional hijack. You don't lose money because you're stupid. You lose it because the world is loud and your emotions listen. Until you realize when your emotions are in control, you'll keep mistaking emotional impulses for strategy. Trap 5. You chase more than you need. Trap 5. You chase more than you need. Most people ruin their finances chasing more status, more validation, more admiration. Morgan Housel writes, there is no reason to risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. So why do people who already have more than enough still risk everything for more? Take Sam Bankman-Fried, for example. In 2021, at just 29 years old, he was worth over $20 billion. His company FTX had become the second largest crypto exchange in the world. The media called him the next Warren Buffett. Politicians praised him. Celebrities endorsed him. He was one of the richest self-made billionaires in history, and he was just getting started. But behind the curtain, he was quietly mixing customer funds, not to survive, not to feed his family, but to chase more control, more status, more admiration. But enough, that word was never part of the plan. So he kept pushing, and the empire collapsed overnight. Billions lost, investors betrayed, and Sam arrested, disgraced, alone. That's the danger of never enough. It's a silent trap, and most of us don't even realize we're caught, especially in today's hyper-connected world. You earn good money until you meet someone earning more. You buy a nice car, then someone else shows up in a nicer one. You feel proud of what you've built until you scroll social media and suddenly feel behind. Comparison has no ceiling. The more success you reach, the more the bar moves. Philosopher Bertrand Russell put it simply, it is impossible to escape envy by means of success. Even history's greatest weren't immune. Napoleon envied Caesar. Caesar envied Alexander. Alexander envied Hercules, who wasn't even real. That's how endless this game is, and the higher you climb, the harder the fall. But if your real goal is freedom, peace, happiness, you only win by refusing to keep climbing. You win by knowing when to stop playing. It's not about giving up. It's about refusing to trade what truly matters for what doesn't. Define what enough means to